Okay, guys, Weinstein, just like Cosby, has been proven innocent. He was never anything that they accused him of. All those women have been proven to be liars, every one of them, right? Now, this guy here, Nate the lawyer, of course, he is going to virtue signal and say that Harvey Weinstein was a bad guy, which he isn't, right? Because he's been proven innocent, right? And I'm going to call this guy out, Nate the lawyer. So let's hear it.
It's a bombshell. Disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction is being overturned because he didn't get a fair trial.
The disgusting, predatory slop monster that is Harvey Weinstein just got...
Shut up, dude. He is not a slop monster and he's not predatory. Because if he was, they would have had him behind bars. They were desperate to get this guy. So the fact that they couldn't get him, they couldn't get one actual proper witness, shows you he was always innocent. This guy is not a scumbag. All he is a guy that women threw themselves at to get movie careers. He's not guilty of anything.
Got his conviction overturned.
We are following breaking news for you this hour. We want to take you to New York now, where the state's highest court has overturned the rape conviction of movie producer Harvey Weinstein. The New York Court of Appeals.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Right. The justice isn't entirely done, though, because this guy shouldn't have had this happen to him. Right. I don't think he has the common sense to sue the legal system for what it's done.
Finding the trial judge prejudiced Weinstein with improper rulings.
So in this video, we're going to unwrap the spin and give you the exact reason why Harvey Weinstein conviction was thrown out. And I bet at the end of this video, you're going to agree it should have been thrown out.
Well, you're going to be wrong. He's not going to come out and say that these women were lying, which they were.
So now, if you don't know who Harvey Weinstein is, he was Hollywood's mega producer. Now, it's well documented that he used that power and influence to have young, attractive women sleep with him. Now,
No, jerkwad. He did not use power and influence. These women used their youth and beauty to have sex with a man so they could get something out of him. That's what happened, right? The women were just as guilty as him. And this is not unethical behavior as far as I'm concerned, right? It's no more unethical than a wife leeching off her husband and pretending that she loves him.
in Hollywood, this was an open secret. Everyone knew. As an example, here is a clip from 2005 where actress Courtney Love warns people about Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein relates to a predator.
Really, you're going to use this low life? Come on. As an example?
Love tweeted Saturday saying, although I wasn't one of the victims,
there were no victims. If there were any victims, he would have been incarcerated for good. They wouldn't have overturned it. You, Nate, the so-called lawyer, I don't know what bar you passed. If he was guilty at all, he'd be behind bars.
one of his victims, I should say, I was eternally banned by CAA for speaking out against Harvey Weinstein.
Now, eventually women started speaking.
Well, the fact is, she wasn't speaking out again. She was just telling a lie about him, right?
Out in droves. Over 100 women accused Harvey Weinstein of either some type of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, or even sexual assault.
I just want to thank
Nate the genius. Let me show you something. Whose video is this? This is your video. Man saved after video shows a woman lied about being thrown down the stairs, right? This pretty girl didn't get her way, and so she told a lie, and everybody believed her, and it turned out to be false. And here's something I have, and I should really do a video on this. This Good Samaritan, this man helped out a teenage girl who had broken down, and guess what she did to him? She falsely accused him. And he turned out to be innocent. So these are women lying about men is standard practice. It's standard practice. We're finding this out. Every time we turn around, some woman is telling a lie about a man.
My agent, Kevin Uvain, and God, Harvey Weinstein.
And this is important too, because it shows that if he was such a bad guy, how come all these people loved him?
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
He was one of the most powerful men in the film industry, thanked by some of the biggest A-listers in Hollywood.
Thank you so much, the Academy and Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey, thank you for killing whoever you had to kill to get me up here today.
Really? Shouldn't she be saying, I slept with Harvey and that's how I got here? Notice all these women are thankful when their career's at the beginning, but once they're washed up and they can no longer produce, that's when they turn on this guy.
But in 2017, his world came crashing down after bombshell reports in the New York Times and the New Yorker claimed he had a history of preying on women. In the month,
His history was that the casting couch was going down, and both people are involved. This isn't sexual assault. This is just women engaging in prostitution.
that followed, a list of stars would speak out with
Now, look at the stars. They're older women at the end of their careers.
their own stories, including Angelina Jolie, Mira Sorvino, and Selma Hayek, some accusing the movie mogul of sexual harassment, others like Rose
Who is a complete has-been. She was never a top A-lister, right?
McGowan claimed he raped her.
What does justice look like to you?
Bars.
The accusations against Weinstein propelling the Me Too movement and prompting the
Yeah,
creation
this is what the Me Too movement has always been about. Just a pack of liars. Destroying men for shits and giggles. I spit on the Me Too movement.
of Time's Up, women in Hollywood banding together to stand up to sexual misconduct.
Now, with all these accusations of his conduct, Harvey Weinstein's life was essentially destroyed. And because some of these allegations were
That's what the purpose of the Me Too is. Nate, the lawyer.
criminal allegations, the state of New York and California started investigating. The New York authorities struck first. They arrested Harvey Weinstein on allegations of sexual assault against 3 women.
It's a scene many of his accusers never thought they'd see. Harvey Weinstein, a man used to walking red carpets, now in handcuffs, doing a
His accusers didn't believe it happened because they knew they were lying.
perp walk.
To lure young women into situations where he was able.
He didn't lure these women anywhere. These women flocked to Hollywood to get careers, and they were willing to sleep with whoever they could to get what they wanted.
To violate them sexually.
His smile vanished in court as he was formally charged with 2 counts of rape and 1 of a criminal sexual act. It's been 7 months since his behavior, long rumored in the industry, became national headlines.
So it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Harvey Weinstein was going to be convicted of sexual assault in New York because look at how many people had said he'd done it to them. Now, even...
Exactly, dude. And as you know, again, by your own videos, that many women telling these lies doesn't mean anything. If anything, it means the exact opposite. It's getting to the point where if a bunch of women all claim something against the guy, I just assume they're lying.
Though we all believe that Harvey Weinstein is guilty of all these accusations.
What? Back that up. Back the truck up. Did you say we believe he's guilty?
Now, even though we all believe that Harvey Weinstein is guilty of all these accusations.
No, we don't. Not we all. I don't believe this man is guilty. Your video proves his innocence. So how dare you say that? What law school let you get through? His own video is going to prove this man's innocence. This man, we know that he is innocent. It's not simply that we don't know that he's guilty. We know he's innocent.
In the United States legal system, it's not about accusations. You got to prove your case. It's not about what you know, but what you can prove.
You got one problem though, Jake. You got no witnesses. Who you witnesses, huh?
Roger?
This is bullshit, what you're showing here. Because in this movie, this guy knew that the bad guy was bad. We know that Harvey Weinstein is innocent. We know it. And you're trying to say what you know is not the case?
Smiley, you think my troops are gonna help you? It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Now, when it comes to the Harvey Weinstein case, there were actually no witnesses. It was just really a he said, she said. He was
Well, there you go then. There's no proof. There's no reason for you to say that you know he was guilty of anything.
saying that the acts were consensual. They were saying that the acts were not consensual. Now, when New York State prosecutors brought the case, they had major problems with their victims. See, the state...
You mean they're liars? That's what their victims were. They weren't victims. They were witnesses, and their witnesses were liars. So you knowing this, you should not be turning around and calling these liars victims. They obviously weren't.
Charge Harvey Weinstein was assaulting 3 women. But these women were not good witnesses. The reason...
You mean they were liars, yeah.
The reason why is because after their alleged sexual assault by Harvey Weinstein, they continued to have consensual sex with Harvey Weinstein for years.
That's right. They were still milking this man. They were the predators, not him. They were the predators because they were using this man, and just as soon as they could get the maximum milk out of him, they turned on him. That's what happened here. They're the criminals. And so you are admitting through what we're seeing here that Harvey Weinstein is an innocent man.
After the alleged assaults.
But all 3 women had, over different periods, an ongoing relationship with Weinstein. 2 of them continued to have sex with Weinstein consensually for years after.
Exactly, because all their sex was consensual. There was never any assault.
The alleged sexual assaults. They wrote to Weinstein saying that they loved him. And this formed the backbone of Weinstein's defense, that this was all consensual. Now, the complainants argued they did all of this out of fear.
Yeah, well, they were lying, weren't they?
Weinstein was a powerful man.
Mann told the court she never meant what she wrote, saying nice things only because she was afraid of the producer.
Now, Harvey Weinstein's legal team essentially admitted that, yes, Harvey Weinstein's behavior was unethical.
No, it wasn't. They might think it was, but not to me. If his behavior is unethical, all the women involved in that prostitution was also unethical. So they're wrong.
It wasn't illegal. Yes, he used his power to sleep with beautiful women, but that's...
Well, he didn't use his power. They used their beauty to sleep with him and get what they want out of him. That's what happened, Nate.
Not illegal. And that these women who were having consensual sex for years after their alleged allegations are now just trying to destroy his career.
Exactly. That's what the Me Too is about. It's about destroying the careers of men for no other reason that women don't like men.
Jump on the gravy train. Now let's step back for a second. I want you to play...
But it's not really a gravy train. A gravy train would suggest they're getting money out of it. They're not getting any money out of it. They're getting satisfaction out of harming a man. That should really frighten you, Nate. That should really frighten you as a man.
Juror on this case. Hearing the facts as alleged, would you, as a juror, believe that Harvey Weinstein sexually assaulted these women beyond a reasonable doubt?
Well, of course not. And here's the other thing. All these women, these new women, I'll let you play it a little further because you'll mention it.
Would there be reasonable doubt in your mind if the victims are continuing to have consensual sex for years after their alleged assault and then send favorable messages talking about how much they love the guy, even years after the alleged assault? Prosecutors were looking down the barrel of a not guilty verdict. So New York prosecutors decided to take a chance. Let's see if we can bring in some evidence of all these other women who said that Harvey Weinstein assaulted them. And if we can make Harvey Weinstein seem like a serial assaulter, then it's going to be more likely that the jury's going to believe that he assaulted these women because he's done it before in the past.
Exactly. So none of these other women worked out as well. They wanted him so bad, if there was even one woman who actually was assaulted, they would have gotten him. So every one of them were liars. Every one of them. Some of them didn't even say he assaulted them, that he was just being creepy. He came on to them. Right? So we know this is bullshit now. Now, I'm going to expose this Nate the lawyer further.
A trial. Now, I know there are going to be some people who look at this video and say, Nate's a supporter of Harvey Weinstein, which is...
No, you're not. You're against your fellow man, dude. You should be a supporter, because I am. I'm telling you to your face, I am a supporter of Harvey Weinstein. I am a supporter of my fellow innocent man. Right? So you are male hostile. I wouldn't want you defending me.
Absolutely not the case. But I think this is a lesson for us all. We can't change our values because we don't like the person. We can't.
Well, dude, they were going to railroad him because they didn't like this guy. You don't like him, and therefore you're calling him a bad person, even though he's not. He's a completely innocent man.
We can't change our values because we think the person is guilty of something. Guilt must be proven. It can't just be assumed. Now, I understand Me Too is a serious problem, and I also understand that people want to do something.
It is a serious problem. It's a criminal act against 50% of the human population.
Something about it. But violating someone's due process rights is not the way to do it.
They didn't just violate his process rights. They lied about it. They accused an innocent man to harm him for the most low reasons, for shits and giggles. You see, this is what's going on.
And at this point, the Me Too movement essentially is in shambles. The two most prominent...
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is what I'm talking about. He brings up Cosby. Cosby is another innocent man. He's an innocent man. They all lied about him, too. Now, what's his attitude towards Cosby?
Faces of the Me Too movement, Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein, their convictions have been overturned. And the reason why their convictions were overturned is because the mob wanted them to be convicted. So the government...
Well, the mob lied about them, and they were innocent men. That's why it was overturned. They were innocent.
The government did everything possible, even stretching the truth, even violating their rights.
Stretching the truth, they were lying, yeah.
To obtain those convictions. And because of all that, we're kind of back where we started. Bill Cosby's conviction was thrown out.
We're coming on the air with breaking news about Bill Cosby. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court has overturned the 83-year-old actor's sex assault conviction, and he could be released from prison within hours.
And now Harvey Weinstein's conviction is thrown out.
It's a bombshell. Disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction is being overturned.
Now, you're going to hear a lot of the media blaming the courts. The courts are bad, the courts did this, the courts are wrong. But the fact of the matter is the courts aren't wrong. In both of these cases, it was obvious that both these men may be horrible people.
No, they're not horrible people. You're a horrible person for spreading that lie. These men are innocent. All they did was do what you want, Nate, but can't do. Sleep around with a lot of beautiful women. You would love to do that, but you can't. And that's why these men are horrible. Sorry, horrible to you. Right? Women threw themselves at these men because they were high status. They didn't give a shit about them as people. Right? I consider that very unethical. But you're all right with that behavior from the women. But these guys are horrible because women were throwing themselves at them and they were accepting. That's pathetic, right? And that's what I'm exposing about you, dude. Sadly, you are a very typical guy, very typical. I wish you were an outlier. But this whole thing makes me vomit.